All right, WendyO with the powerful review. We love it. Don't we love it? Yes, we love to see it. All right, so when before she did the review, because I had no idea what to expect, I I knew it was coming, and I thought I would play it, and as she went along, I would correct her on things. But she did a fantastic job. She really did a good job, so there's no need for corrections. The only things that she left out, it's because we don't talk about it. And they were actually like the coolest things about what we're doing and the power behind our platform. That's, of course, our fault. But some of these features, like, there's when you're building a platform, you have all these great ideas, but then the core of our platform is you stake to donate. You can stake on an influencer and you split the yield, which is it's like the core idea of our platform. And once you get into that, you're like, instead of creating all these new features, which everything she talked about we're going to do or we have done, but instead of getting into all that, you start to think, well, how can we expand on that core idea? And so I just want to go through quickly, like, real quick, like when you sign up for an account, right? You can choose what staking pools show on your profile. That's pretty cool. But right now, it's like, well, why wouldn't you let these staking pools show up in your profile? Of course, you'd let them show up in your profile. Well, the reason is because we allow social tokens. Wendy did not talk about that because I don't know if, I think we mentioned it on the site somewhere, but that's it. But not enough. And so you can create your own token. Now, we do have a token approval process. So we have to approve your token because we don't want just people throwing up garbage tokens on our platform. So there is an approval process. But if you're a legit organization, a legitimate artist or influencer, like, we will allow you to create a token. And so users, so once you create the token and add it to our platform, it'll show up on all influencer accounts. Like, that's powerful. Like, it's like we're the greatest launch pad of all time in a way, right? Like, that's insane. Immediate use case. But if they don't like you, like, let's say it's Madonna creates a token. She has not created a token, nor has she joined the platform. But if she did, after that performance last night, I think a lot of people would not want to show her tokens, right? Or if it's like a church, a church's profile, they wouldn't want to show tokens for an atheist organization, right? That would not make any sense. So you could customize it. Or if it's Snoop Dogg and then, like, there's a rap community, which there is a growing rap community on our platform, but let's say there's a rap community, and it probably makes sense for them to include the Snoop Dogg token on our platform. So we're creating all these micro economies and micro communities within what we're doing. Also, when with the blog, which that's not added yet, but that's going to be literally added in a couple days. I don't know why it's not added. There's a couple little bugs, but with the blog, I mean, you could be an anonymous blogger. These accounts could be anonymous as long as you can confirm your identity through social media. We'll let you be verified, and when you're verified, then a community can stake on you. If you're not verified, you can only stake on yourself. So that's a little breakdown of that, and like the power behind anonymous blogging, and you still make money. I mean, there's all sorts of scenarios that could play out. I mean, it could be like a WikiLeaks type situation even, or there's people calling out organizations they work at, dropping some knowledge on the governments, or like, who knows, like anything could happen, or just interesting content that they're producing. Wendy kept saying, this is a kid-friendly show. Obviously, she's referencing OnlyFans. That's not the direction we're going, but you can see how your mind would go to OnlyFans, with the Patreon model. And oh yeah, so the other cool thing that we're doing, and this will be ready, I'm hoping this week. If not this week, definitely next week. Probably this week, along with the blog. I think we're going to drop them at the same time. Is one-time donations. So right now we just have a very basic one-time donation. You can donate to PatriotJ. But for Ethereum, Polygon, and Binance, we're going to have one-time donations. And by the way, we're adding Ethereum and Polygon support very soon. But as far as the one-time donations, you can donate on either 3 of those smart chains, and your donations, the one-time donations, are going to be calculated. This falls perfectly in line with GoFundMe. So what we want to do is more like guerrilla style campaigns where, man, we see somebody that got in a car accident, their house burnt down, they need an operation that they didn't expect. They're going through a divorce. They need to pay for an attorney. Like all these different reasons that people have GoFundMes, we can just like jump on it and have that goodwill and say we can help out, and we're taking 0%. We're taking 0%. So I think on GoFundMe, what do they take? 3 to 5%. Patreon takes 10%. For one-time donations, we're taking 0%. For staking cards, for Ego, we take 0%. And then it depends on the card itself, but we're taking 3 to 5%. But that's just of the APY. It still costs you nothing to donate. It's just like the other interesting thing that Wendy did not mention. So if somebody stakes you USDC, you get paid. Like if you stake on an artist, if you stake USDC on the artist, they get paid in USDC. Like they're not getting paid in our own token exclusively. Now, on top of the USDC, whatever those rates are, and so for Binance, it's going to be the rates that you see on, like, our protocol sits on top of Venus, right? So it's going to be those rates. Obviously, Cake sits on PancakeSwap. Those rates are like 87% APY. So that all goes to the artist. On top of that, we distribute the Ego token. It's like a rewards token. It's a bonus token. And you can slide the scale and decide like so I'm going to put USDT to Patriot J, and then I can slide the scale and say, yeah, I'll give 100% Ego to Patriot J. Or no, I'm going to give just 24% to Patriot J. Or I'm going to give 100%, right, to myself. And none for Patriot J, because Patriot J is going to get all the USDT. Now you might say like, well, that's a bummer. Like I don't want 100% of the USDT to go to Patriot J. I understand that. You can stake on yourself. So you can stake on yourself. So you're still, you could just say like, what I would say is if you want to stake you on your, mostly on yourself, then do that. Like if you want the USDT, then stake on yourself 90%, but then like take 10% of the funds for like your donation funds and stake on Patriot J. And then on top of that, you still can get the rewards in Ego. So the reason we did that instead of letting you split the USDT is just simplicity of the code. We wanted to keep it as simple as possible. We've got 3 security audits, and well, 2 are done, and 1's coming in very soon from Certic, which is affiliated with Binance, and all the audits have gone very we try to keep the code as simple as possible, and we didn't want another split and then everything's going different directions and it's just more code, more complication. We wanted to keep it simple. So we allow the users to decide, hey, if you want the majority of the USDT to go to yourself, then stake the majority on yourself. But then take a percent and also stake on Patriot J or another artist, not just Patriot J. He's just the person I clicked on here, but any artist, organization, church, charity, anything, township, any type of community that you want to support, you stake on it. It's like a voluntary tax system almost. But it's way better than taxes because you're not actually losing money that you earned. It's just the APY. It's just the interest. So this is my response video to WendyO. I thought she did a really amazing job. I mean, it also gives me some insight to like what people are thinking we're all about. And by the way, the NFT side is not implemented yet. And we have some interesting, we're working on some interesting things in the background with some existing entities. I'll just say that. So that might not come in the form exactly as discussed, but it's, if you look at our profiles, right? Like I just find somebody else. I'm not just using Patriot J. Like, let's just grab Chance here. So if you look at this profile, so you're going to have this, and this really kind of reminds you, it does kind of remind you of an Instagram profile. And then you're going to have the one-time donation, which we're going to have the stats displayed here. Oh, let me scroll down. Oh, I can't scroll down because that's the end. Well, anyways, beneath here is one time. How do I show this? No, I'll bring this up. No, I'll bring it up here. Yeah, okay, so we have the one-time donation, and above the one-time donation is going to be the statistics of how many one-time donations have been made in the last day, the last week, the last month. Eventually, we're going to have time campaigns and all that, but that's not going to be rolled out next week. It's just going to show the last day, the last week, the last month. Beneath that is the blog. So if you are running a fundraising campaign, you can describe what you're doing, or you can just have a blog. And then beneath that is going to be the social NFT display. And all of these features you can turn on or off. So if you don't want the blog, if you think that's going to clutter things, turn it off. If you are just using our platform for one-time donations for fundraising, like you launched a campaign to raise money for a car accident you just had, well then it wouldn't make much sense to have the staking cards. So you could just turn all the staking cards off like I showed you before. And then you just focus on the one-time donations. This gets pushed up, bada bing, bada boom. So we are the solution to financial blacklisting. We are the solution. Like we feel like we are the best solution out there, and you could argue like the really only solution out there where there's recurring donations, there's one-time donations with all the stats being tracked for fundraising purposes, and we really are trying to focus on that. That's who we want to be, because that's what our technology, that's not necessarily like we want it to be like a Patreon. And, as we get into this, it's like, okay, like we're expanding beyond that, but we don't want to expand too much. We want to be a fundraising platform, and that's what we're trying to be our focus here. So recurring donations, one-time donations, stat tracking, fundraising, the solution to financial blacklisting. Join our platform. We are a free money platform where everybody is free to make money. There's a lot of free speech platforms, alternatives to Twitter. We are a free speech platform, an alternative to credit cards, banks, PayPal, which have done horrible things to their users. This is Jesse from Let's Go. Thank you, WendyO, for the amazing review, and we will talk soon.